Good evening, Rusk enjoyers. How doing, alright? 'Cause it's time for Profit Review. Last week we discussed the last Rust for February 2025, and that means today we're here to discuss the March Force Wipe, the introduction of the cooking update. So sit back and relax. I'm going to start yapping. Now, before we proceed, some of you probably don't fully understand what the focus of the video is, what we're even here for. Don't worry, I'll quickly explain. Basically, with every single Rust that we see, I will return to it 4 weeks later just to see how everything turned out. Did everything match up to expectations? And if not, I have to sit here and explain why. And of course, with every single Rust Door, I'm always making considerations for what potentially going to be the best investments for the week. Was I correct? And if not, well, you can hold me accountable. And of course, we'll keep track of the sales progress for the skins. We'll talk about how much we offered with the abnormal barders, and actually point out who actually binded the skins. So, with that, shall we now talk about my initial reaction? So overall, this was a pretty big Rust Store, and it had a lot of variety to it. And, oh, what's that? With my eyes glazed over to here, it's a revolver. I'm in heaven. So, yes, I love revolvers. That was a very nice, appealing thing to see. Basically, we don't get that many of them ever being accepted, but when they do, mate, they tend to be very reliable investments. And that's pretty much the general gist of the exact same thing I said when I first saw that in the Rust Store. But with this Rust Store, as I said, it was the introduction of the cooking update. So in the lead up to all of this, we were really expecting a lot of bee-related skins to be accepted. Honey, bees, you get the idea. Out of all these skins, just one. Whoa. I was exasperated on the day I saw that, but yeah, no, I was incredibly surprised. Only one bee-related skin was accepted. Well, it is what it is, but a large box, okay, can't complain, glows in the dark ever so nicely. Is it actually going to retain interest, though? For the previous 2 years, we've had a lot of very nice, cool-looking independent designs and large boxes that are part of actual collections. They still suffered, they still struggled. So, not too bad. An AK at $4. Did we just have an AK at $5 the previous week? Yep. Didn't that sell next to nothing? Yep. So, I thought that was going to do the exact same thing then. Yeah, it looked cool. Factory New did look very nice, and it definitely matched up to its name. But at $4, I mean, oh look, a collection continuation, Ultramarine boots and gloves. Okay, that's nice, that's cool. But what else could come out afterwards to give it a really nice boost? Nothing really. So, okay, you know what? So as long as Ultramarine collection remains fairly in demand, it'll stay all right. Right? And, Alistair's Biscuits. This was a very fun thing to see because this was actually submitted 4.5 years before it was accepted in this Rust Store. Okay, I mean, I guess you could say it matches up perfectly with the update, but we can't make biscuits. Alright, whatever. And, of course, in anticipation to the cooking update, everybody was fully well aware that fridges were going to go from a roleplay item to an actual item, or rather, a deplorable with an actual purpose. The cooking update introduced rot. Your food would rot unless you keep it refrigerated, so having a fridge in your base was actually more of a necessity. So I wasn't surprised at all to see an actual fridge skin being accepted. Very nice. And it instantly became the cheapest fridge in the game at this specific point, because all the other fridge skins got bought out. Everybody was anticipating, are they going to be a very nice investment? Well, we'll talk about that, and we'll talk about what happened to fridges afterwards in a bit, don't you worry. Fallen Collection gets an instant continuation, so just to remind you, this was literally the week after we had the Tier 2 armour. All of these doubled in price. At one point, I believe the kilt got close to tripling in price. Cool. Well, will it keep up that momentum? Will we see more clothing armour pieces potentially being produced and accepted in the future? And a brand new independent design appears. So here's a fun little thing just to remind all of you. With the February Force Wipe, with the medieval primitive update, I wasn't sure if we were going to keep seeing medieval theme skins being produced and accepted in the future. Lo and behold, this appeared the next month. So yes, a nice golden regal sort of design. It was intended to be like a crown, like a regal sort of set. So Gold Lord, you basically made me realise that yes, Face Punch are still going to continue accepting medieval theme skins. So alright, that's cool. Clan-based Sheep Matador, for what it was, hey, I like it. But it was the skin creator's fourth attempt. Well, you know what? Persistence tends to work out quite nicely, so very nice to see. Another sweet day for pie. Yes, a pie furnace was accepted. Smells lovely. And the Hyper SAR, a perfectly fine looking design. SAR skins in general, though, not really holding up super great. So, speaking of that, we should now consider talking about, out of all these skins, what did I think potentially was the best investment for the week? So I gave it all a good look around, and of course I can quickly remind you of how, when I was looking at the skins right here, when they just had a few thousand sales each. And basically, as I looked, damn well I jumped on the Revolver. So when I first saw that, I bought 100 of them instantly. Of course I did. But yeah, Revolvers are very reliable. They get used a lot. They don't get that many skins being accepted. And, well, just to kind of point this out to you, what you see here was pretty much the exact same thing we saw a month ago. Every single Revolver in the positive. And there's a good reason. So as I said, they still get a lot of usage. We don't get that many skins being accepted. And with like next to no skins being accepted over the past few years, it just looked super reliable. It looked A-OK to jump in. And that's why I quite literally just jumped immediately and got 100 for myself. So, okay, you know what? That's nice. That's cool. But also, the first black Revolver with a red aim sight. I thought there was going to be a lot of genuine demand for that. So, okay, cool. And of course, continuing from the Black Ops collection, that looked like it was growing quite nicely. So I anticipated even more weapon skins to be produced and accepted potentially on the horizon. Maybe even some clothing and armor, deployables. But yeah, that was a growing collection. Looking at all the remaining skins, I instantly jumped onto the Fallen Hoodie and Pants. Just couldn't help but assume that maybe we'll see Tier 3 boots and gloves at some point on the horizon. And, well, that appears, exactly with what happened with disappearing and being accepted. That caused the Tier 2 to spike in price. I thought, if we get anything else that appears just after this, I was feeling confident this was also going to spike in price ever so nice. Double, triple in price? Yes, please. Looking at all the other skins, I made a consideration for the Frog Fridge. Now, let me just quickly point this out. Well, as I'm looking at all the skins, that was getting bought quite nicely. So, the Frog Fridge, based on the fact that when it appeared, it instantly became the cheapest fridge, I was still a bit concerned, skeptical, because with this update, not surprised at all to see Facepunch accepted one of these just to kind of promote the idea that, hey, go give fridges a good look. Would they actually keep on accepting quite a lot of them? Would fridges go from something that got like hardly ever any skins being accepted to getting somewhat frequent skins being accepted, like a door? I was a bit concerned about that, because if that was going to be the case, maybe that Frog Fridge might become just a little bit less special, if you know what I mean. Suddenly we get tons and tons of options. So I was approaching it mainly based on the fact that it was abnormal. I wanted to see what the sales look like, and I wanted to see what gets submitted over the course of the next weekend. So, yeah, okay. Looking at the remaining skins, we've got the boots and the gloves here. So, as I mentioned, at this specific point, every single skin in the Ultramarine collection was in the positive when it was March. And typically, loads of skins are down to a low point at that specific point of the year. And, of course, from here, we're still anticipating the summer. The summer of 2024 was an absolutely wonderful time for skins. Many skins reached new all-time high prices. So, in theory, for the summer of 2025, don't you think with a nice, very interesting update such as the, jungle update, maybe, just maybe, we'll get a lot of people jumping in for that, enjoying Rust with the brand new biome, and maybe your skins potentially could rise up even higher? Point made. So Ultramarine was doing very, very nicely when prices were doing bad in general. How are they going to look in the summertime? Maybe the boots and gloves are going to be A-OK. I just needed to see if they're going to match up to the sales that all the previous clothing armor pieces had. So that was looking pretty appealing. Looking at all the remaining skins, the garage door looked fun, silly. I just didn't think it was going to be A-OK. We already had a whole bunch of garage doors being accepted at this specific point. The Gold Lord Tier 3, I was just going to sit here and say this. Doesn't matter. So as long as we see a collection continuation, after talking about the hoodie and pants here, it's going to spike in price. But at $2.49 each, is that even going to sell that much? The $4 AK. Well then, just had a $5 AK and it only did about 8,000 subscribers. Is that going to follow suit? It looked cool. It looked shiny. It definitely matched up to its name. It's just, I just didn't have the faith with another expensive AK, so I just didn't imagine much. Large box, looked pretty, glowed in the dark very, very nicely. I wasn't sure if it was going to be OK, all by itself. Maybe it does develop into a much bigger collection. I was aware the skin creator was producing a collection continuation, so, had to just leave it. It was abnormal. Didn't need to rush into buying it. Could do the abnormal barders first, but I just wasn't fully convinced. Large boxes the previous year, they weren't exactly holding up super great at this specific point. And to just kind of round up everything, The sheet in the door looked nice, a continuation for its collection, but its collection wasn't very in demand, so I just thought, all right, maybe I'll just play it safe, low ball buy order. Pie Furnace looked cool. The collection only consisted of those 2 skins. The small box did spike in price when this appeared, so I was just like, okay, well, it hasn't really sold that much. It was the second lowest selling skin at this specific point. I thought, all right, maybe I'll just wait it out. At $2, it was abnormal. Smart buy order maybe. Yeah, we'll see. And the SAR. Unfortunately, at this specific point, the SAR skins in general just weren't holding up very nicely. They weren't doing super great. And that Hyper SAR, whilst it had a pretty interesting gradient design to it, all of them were just mostly in red. I had not that much faith. I just didn't have the trust. So, yeah, no confidence. All right then, so let's now talk about the first 24 hours of sales. And well, that Black Ops Revolver was the top selling skin. So I think maybe my words of encouragement probably got heard. But just to reiterate, I actually took the screenshot like 2 hours too late for it to be 24 hours. Either way, it still did over 9,000 subscribers, 500 more compared to the Neon Honey box, for example. Like, people actively on it. But I was under the assumption that all of that was actual genuine demand. That right there was actually getting sales because, again, we just don't get that many Revolver skins being accepted, and chances are we might not be getting another one for another while as well. So that was actually looking pretty appealing. That looked like I should probably buy some more. The large box was holding up just as well. Just over 9,000 subscribers there. Frog Fridge was also selling very nicely. Garage Door was actually selling quite nicely. Is that actual genuine demand though? And the boots and the gloves, to my surprise, they were actually selling more in comparison to the previous weeks that we saw the hoodie and pants and the tier 2. Could that be a potential problem? Or maybe it's just not something to really worry about too much. Well, I kept my eyes on it. Both of those skins weren't abnormal. That was the concern. With the Fallen hoodie and pants, they were matching up perfectly with the sales that what the tier 2 did the previous week. So, okay, didn't need to worry about that. And the Gold Lord tier 3, it was doing all right. It was fine. Like, its higher price might have been a bit of a problem, but it was actually selling quite comparable compared to the other clothing armor pieces. So, okay, fair enough. So, shall we now talk about how we approached the abnormal buy orders? So let's go do that right now. So as you can see, on the night, I'm looking at all the skins. Top selling skin is the Black Ops Revolver with just under 19,000 subscribers. Again, still standing with the idea of, well, you know what? That probably is like actual genuine demand there. And I wasn't seeing any other Revolver skins being produced at this specific point in the workshop. So, that's looking pretty good. That's looking pretty interesting. And just to point out, large box also did considerably nice sales. Factory New AK actually eclipsed like both of these deplorables here. Just to point out, the previous week, the $5 AK, that was the Elysium AK, that only did like 8,000 subscribers. And the Factory New, which, selling at $4, that still did 14,000 subscribers. So, okay, well, that's a bit different. The Frog Fridge, as I was basically alluding to, did slow down. The Ultramarine boots and gloves kind of looked like they were selling maybe perhaps just a little bit too much compared to the hoodie and pants, tier 2, tier 3. Was that going to be a concern? The Fallen hoodie and pants basically matched up perfectly to the tier 3, so tier 2. So yeah, no, everything was pretty reasonable, but let's actually jump in now and talk about what prices we offer for all these skins. Black Ops Revolver. So, things were alright. Yeah, it was a little bit more sales than what I was initially anticipating. But again, still rolling with the premise of, you know what, I think a lot of people actually just, wanted to buy it, use it, appreciate it, enjoy it. So I thought, you know what, at $2.49, I'm doing a $1.70 to $2.20 buy order. Yep, I went in strong. I thought that was actually going to do pretty okay. So, okay, that was my approach there. Now, in regards to the Neon Honey box, I was aware that the skin creator did produce a collection continuation. Looked nice. But large boxes, in 2024, many collection continuations were there. So many of them were still down in price. So I was like, okay, I'm concerned. $2.49, you know what, I'm going to offer 90 cents to $1.30. That's how I approached it. With the Factory New AK-47 at $3.99, with 14,000 subscribers, I wasn't convinced. I didn't see a collection continuation instantly. I just thought to myself, you know what, maybe I'll just do $1 to $2. Nice and broad. But yeah, didn't have the strongest confidence. But maybe there was actual genuine interest in it. Because again, 14,000 subscribers. The week after we had the $5 one. Well, there you go. So, okay. Still going to go about halfway, but yeah, all right. I was interested, but I wasn't super confident. With the Frog Fridge, well, $2.49, 13,000 subscribers, which really isn't that much, but I was seeing more fridges being produced in the workshop. And I was looking, and I was like, okay then, oh dear. I was getting concerned. So looking at that, I also considered, you know what, maybe the Frog Fridge will be alright, maybe it'll be alright, okay, it should be holding up its value still. Like, it is still technically the cheapest fridge. So I went with $1.20 to $1.80. So yeah, maybe it does drop off. Maybe we will see some more fridges being accepted. I couldn't help but assume with Easter, Halloween, Christmas, it probably was looking to be pretty inevitable. So looking at the Gold Lord Tier 3, yes, at $2.49 each, it just about managed to do about 10,500 subscribers on average between the two skins there. Wasn't sure if we were going to see any continuations because at that point I hadn't. So I thought, you know what, I'll just probably... Oh no, we did see boots and gloves, so I was reasonably interested, but I wasn't sure if everybody was going to be super eager to run around in full gold, so 80 cents to $1.20, about halfway. Wasn't feeling super confident. With the clan-based sheep matador, sold a reasonable amount, so let's just kind of like skip down over to here. There you go. Maybe I could move on ahead a little bit more. Maybe I'll scroll down. There you go. 9,700 subscribers. Looks cool, nice, but the collection wasn't in demand. I only went with 70 cents to $1 for the sheep matador. Yeah, that's what I did. Didn't have the strongest confidence based on the performance of many sheep matadors in the previous year. In 2024, only one skin was in the positive at this specific point here. Yep. So, talking about the pie furnace now, at $2, I was looking at it. It ended up only reaching 8,600 subscribers at that specific point. Half as much compared to the other furnaces we saw in 2025. Huh. So, okay then. I had already bought some Valentine's furnaces, and they weren't doing super great. So I was like, I already don't like furnaces again. But I looked at it and I thought, you know what, maybe I could do 90 cents to $1.30, because I was aware that there was some pie deplorables being produced. And, maybe that gets accepted next. Maybe we could have like a proper pie room. And then Hypersar, SARs at this specific point just weren't holding up super great, and they rarely ever are. So, yeah, $2.49, nope, 60 cent to 80 cent barter. Don't have confidence, play it safe. There you go. And with the regular skins, the skins that weren't abnormal, I was making considerations, and I was like, you know what? Looking at the Alistair's Biscuits garage door, yeah, sold quite a decent amount. But you know what? I still wasn't 100% sure. I went with 70 cents to $1. It was goofy, it was silly, it didn't glow in the dark or anything, but maybe we could see, actual collection continuations happening. Stabby, the skin creator, isn't exactly super active. It kind of sounded like he wanted to make some more, but how long would that be? So, yeah, played it a bit safe there. Now, with the Ultramarine boots and gloves, I made my considerations because, yes, at this specific point, it looked like they were probably going to sell just a little bit more compared to the hoodie pants Tier 2 and Tier 3. But even then, it's not by that much difference. And so as long as the collection remains in demand, they should hold up perfectly fine. So I made my considerations and I thought, you know what? 80 cents, 90 cents. Both of them were 99 cents each. Couldn't help but assume they hold up ever so nicely. So, yeah, that was the expectation. And then the Fallen hoodie and pants. So, in regards to what I saw there, I did see boots and gloves being submitted over the course of the weekend. I was rubbing my hands, I was anticipating. Nothing is a guarantee, though, but with a very similar amount of sales compared to the Tier 2 from the previous week, I was all in 80 cents, 90 cents. Yep. So, in regards to all of that, did Hedge actually buy any of the skins? I bought 30 roadside gloves, 20, was it 20? Yeah, 20 each of the Fallen hoodie and pants. I actually can't remember if I bought my revolvers. I can't remember, but I definitely bought at least 100. So, okay, cool. Let's now go over and talk about the outcomes. So, looking at the Black Ops Revolver, I can confirm to you that that has basically matched up to expectation, and he's just chilling. He's all good. Nothing wrong with that Black Ops Revolver. Right, so over to here, give this a good look, and as you can see, 137 listings on the Steam market. Now, I must remind you, someone just thought it was an absolutely hilarious thing to do. When this first became marketable with the abnormal barters, someone listed like 100. He's not doing that anymore, though. So, what's going on? Well, we haven't seen another Black Ops skin in a while, which is quite unfortunate in terms of acceptances. Skin creators have been trying to get more weapon skins produced, but none of them have been accepted as of now. But we are currently in the first week of April, and I do believe that as we approach the summer, this will be appreciated a lot more. This is something that's going to be a nice, slow, gracious rise up in price. Many revolvers in the past have done just that, and I'm pretty sure this will follow suit. Yeah, you got one person here trying to sell 29. Why are you trying to sell in April? Just saying. But after that, it's just 1. It's very thin. It's got all the barter support still here. This doesn't look like it's going down, and it looks like it could easily go up. We would just need a lot more people playing. And let me tell you, with a potentially very interesting update on the horizon, maybe that might just happen. Just saying. So yeah, that's just comfortable. Like revolvers in general, just perfectly fine investments. That's why I jumped in immediately and bought some. I'm that confident with them. And as of what I see there, still feeling very confident as well. Right, moving on, Neon Honey Box. So I actually played it safe with this. I went with, what, 90 cents to $1.30? I was wrong. I got it wrong. People actually really do like this skin, and it has held up ever so nicely. Now, when you look at the balders, it still seems pretty thin here, but with the prices at what they're at and the sales it's had and whatnot, it's doing good. There's genuine demand there. People do appreciate the Neon Honey Box, and I am fully well aware that there were collection continuations that are produced. We just haven't seen them being accepted. So, garage door, what's that? A wooden door or a sheetman door? Looks like a wooden door. It is a wooden door. Yep, I remembered. So they were produced, but they haven't been accepted, which is quite unfortunate. But in regards to the price I suggested, yeah, no, I played it too safe and it didn't work out very nicely, did it? So, yeah, I was wrong. You can laugh at me if you wish. So, yeah, did you happen to buy any of the large boxes? Or even the revolvers? Feel free to comment below and tell me how happy you are. I'm not happy I didn't buy any. Right, anyway, factory new AK-47. So, it didn't really hold up its value. No, it didn't. Who'd have guessed? So yeah, still surprised that this even happened. But as you can see, it's still very thin. The barders only go up to a certain point. Like, I am well aware that there were more factory new skins that were produced, but only one has been accepted since, well, this, and that being the sap, which looked all right. It's just, yeah. So, in regards to the skin, it did reach 15,000 subscribers. It does look nice and shiny in game. It's just, there will be other AKs this year. They're going to be super glossy, shiny, golden, silver, pearlescent, you name it. But I just don't think that's going to be enough to keep that, keep the interest for that. I don't see it retaining even $2.50. I'd like to be proven wrong. I'd like to see some more skins being produced and accepted, but whilst the skin creators produce the skins, it's Facepunch that's not accepting them, so it's a bit awkward. So, overall, with my suggested price of $1 to $2, yeah, that worked out quite nicely. You might want to try and sell them whilst you can. So, right, yeah, did you buy any yourself? Did you pick up any of the barders yourself? Feel free to comment below. Let's now move on and talk about the Ultramarine boots and gloves. So, on this day, in the first week of April 2025, I am very happy to sit here and say that the Ultramarine collection is very in demand at the moment. It's quite nice, oh yes. So with the arrival of the boots and gloves, the hoodie and pants went all the way up to like $5. To this day, it's still basically the same price. I am kind of surprised to see it's doing so good, but you got to respect that. You got to respect it. So yeah, I bought just the gloves. Typically, with boots and gloves tends to be a bit better. They tend to work out much more. I guess gloves get more, used more compared to boots. And feel free to comment below. Do you use your roadside gloves more than boots? I'd love to hear it. I love to let my toes be nice and free. All right, anyway, so I bought virtually the gloves. And you might sit there and say, Hedge, it doesn't even look like it's gone up in price that much. That's fine. I don't want to sell in April. I want to wait until like June or July or August when there's a lot more people playing, a lot more people seeing the Ultramarine collection, and then people wanting to buy it. Now, you might have noticed there with the gloves that someone's listed 45. Let them be done. Who buys 40 or 100 skins at 99 cents and tries to sell them at $1.15? An idiot. That's what. No, that might sound mean, but why'd you buy them at 99 cents and then try and only make a penny profit? I'm just saying, sorry to sound mean, but like, it was the logic. So yeah, the barters is still holding up quite nicely. It doesn't look like it's going down anytime soon. And the sales, well, I mean, it's been pretty steady, slowly going downward. I just don't imagine it'd be going down dramatically at any point. And as I said, when we see a nice big update, yeah, the jungle update, I just can't help but assume the Ultramarine collection probably flourish a little bit more. Now, it's not a case of that I do super great in the jungle. It's more of a case of a lot of people will be playing, a lot more people would probably jump onto Ultramarine based on the performance it's got at the moment in terms of interest. So, Cool. Alistair's Biscuits garage door actually slumped and dropped, and soggy biscuit. Sorry. So anyway, so yeah, it didn't hold up very nicely, unfortunately. I had an 80-cent buy order, just one, and I bought too many at 80 cents. It's maddening, isn't it? So yeah, it's not in demand. People are actively trying to flog it seems, and the barters have been slowly going down worse and worse. I suggested, 70 cents to $1? I mean, yeah, congratulations, you bought it for cheaper, but have fun trying to sell them for a profit. And there's no signs of a collection continuation. Stabby must be semi-retired or actively retired. I don't really know. He's been around for a very long time, but he hasn't been making that many skins as of recent, so I'm not feeling very happy. Yay. Frog fridge. So, the state of fridges ever since we had the cooking update. So many fridge skins peaked in price in the first week of March, and then they went down in price afterwards. So that is an unfortunate thing to see. Whilst the prices have dropped off here, it hasn't been dramatically down super bad, but Frog Fridge, let's just see how many of you are on the Steam market at the moment, 64, and the cheapest one is $1.80. Now that's 4 listings that are stragglers, and suddenly goes back up to $2.11. I'm also in the position of, I can't help but assume fridges might be used, skins. Well, actually no, both works. Fridges are going to be used more when there's a lot more people playing with the jungle update, and of course more justification to own skins. There's only 64 there. Please take that into consideration, and also take into consideration it's April. Typically skin prices are a bit meh right about now, but we are also about to have Easter, so Hedge has to also bring this up. Haha, funny, goofy Frog Fridge, and then we had Death Metal Fridge, and then of course we had Cryo Fridge. But let me just show this to you, all right? There's more fridges. Do I need to say any more? I mean, just look at what we see here. Look at what we see. So, you got the bunnies. You're not having the cat girl. You're not allowed the cat girl. You're not allowed the cat girl. You're not having the cat girl. You're not getting that for Easter. No, you've been very naughty. But you got the cute little bunny. You got the cute little bunny. You got the cute little chick. You got the collection continuation Easter chick. I mean, I'm just saying. Things are looking pretty sweet. Things are looking pretty interesting. I will not be surprised in the slightest if we probably get at least 2 fridges for Easter. I'm considering we're potentially going to see 3 weeks of Easter Rust doors. I wouldn't be surprised if it happens, but at the very least 2 weeks is the expectation. So after this, we got 2 more in a single month. To our surprise, we got 3 fridges. Now compare that to the previous years. We only got 2 in a single year. That's a little bit concerning. The skepticism was correct. I was correct to be skeptical because with more skins being accepted, Frog Fridge looks pretty dull at the moment. And there's nothing wrong with the design and whatnot. He's cute for what he is. But it's just, other options became available, and people probably picked some of the other options. When skins struggle to maintain interest, they lose their value, and that is what's happening right there. And if we're fully confident we're going to see at least maybe a fridge or 2 with the upcoming Easter Rust stores, what about Halloween? What about Christmas? Oh, does that mean there's going to probably at least going to be another 5 fridge skins this year? The most in a single year for fridge skins in general? Now you get the issue. So, okay. What did we suggest? I went with what? Frog Fridge was $1.20 to $1.80. I mean, looking at the balders just once more, did you actually manage to pick some up yourself? Now, I don't remember if I actually did $1.80. I think I actually did $1.70 myself. I have recently removed my buy order. I looked at the listings, made a consideration. I'd already bought a few, but I was just like, yeah, you know what, I'm going to play it safe, because after seeing more and more fridges being accepted as of recent, I thought it was best to just take a bit of a step back, so that's what I did. Fallen hoodie and pants. I bought 30 of these each. We haven't seen a collection continuation in a while, but we did see just a pair of gloves. So there you go. Not sure what's caused these to dramatically drop so much, but I did make a short video quite some time back where I used this with Sam Rhino, and we compared it with Desert Raiders. Desert Raiders is still clearly better, but for what this is, paired up with the Fallen Road Sign kilt, the Sand Rhino Tier 3 armor, it does a very good job. and it only costs about what, maybe like 1/10, 1/15. I can't remember the exact price compared to the Desert Raider set. And yet, as you look at it, I mean, someone's decided to dump 15. Someone's decided to just keep listing this lower and lower. It's unfortunate other people exist. Not sure why they felt the need to sell this now. Again, why would you sell in April? But some people just need some funds, it seems. So, yeah, that has slumped. That has gone down a fair bit. And my buy order suggestion, well, I ended up fulfilling my full buy order. I actually bought a bunch of these at, what, 90 cents around that? Yeah, that happened. So, did you buy any with your own buy orders? Or did you buy any with your own wallet in the rush store? Feel free to comment below. That has slumped down. Now, again, if we see tier 2, if we see, well, we already got tier 2. If we get tier 3 or the boots, maybe a jacket, yeah, that would cause that to have a lovely time. But is it actually going to happen? We haven't seen it yet. But Robstar, I do believe, purposely was kind of taking a bit of a break because he did do some deplorables. Just to remind you, he did do some deplorables. But I wouldn't be surprised if he does tier 3 just after Easter. So he probably knew that it was probably wise to just take a bit of a break. And now he's going to capitalise afterwards, just after Easter. Get that tier 3 accepted, and then, wha-bam, we've got a lovely looking full set. And yeah, hopefully that goes up in price so I can sell them for a nice bit of profit. Gold Lord tier 3, I mean, it's just kind of sitting there. It's just there. It didn't sell too much, but for what it is, it's done a decent job here with the face mask. That's retaining interest to a point that still went down a fair bit. Chest plate, however, though, that's dropped off a little bit more. So this is basically at half the price it sold for the Rush store, whereas this just over here, slightly down. Not dramatically down, just slightly down. But if we don't see any collection continuations, there will be problems, and that very likely will just keep going down and down, unless people want to dress up all nice and gold. Clan-based Sheep Nador, I mean, that just basically matched up to expectation. So yeah, did you do a $1 barter? Yippee! I don't think I actually did that much of a high price. I think I did like 75 cents or something. I think I did one buy order and that was it. And I don't know if I've bought any yet, because of course you can see the barters going up to about 84 cents. But yeah, no, that has not retained value, and that has not looked like it's going to go up in price for a while. The collection itself, even now, still not in demand. Sorry to say, but yeah, you've got to you got to just be straightforward and say, you know what, it's probably not wise to invest into this. And I wasn't feeling very confident when I saw it then, and well, there you go. It matched up to expectations, all right. Pie Furnace. I thought with the sheer lack of sales and with more potential pie on the horizon, it could have worked out all right. Nope, it's half in price. Ah, nuts. So the large boxes were produced, the sleeping bag was produced, didn't get accepted. I'm sad, and now it's gone down in price. So I had a reasonable bit of confidence in it, but it has not succeeded. Now I said 90 cents to $1.30, and right now it's kind of smack dab in that. But hey, maybe we do get more pie stuff accepted over the course of the next few weeks. And when all the people appear for the summer, remember, kids out of school, summer vacation. Maybe it works out, maybe it doesn't. As of now, it don't look like it's working out. But there's only 22 listings. Only 22. So maybe it could have a pretty interesting future. As of now, whilst it isn't looking super great at the moment, it could have an easy turnaround. Just needs some more sales. Hyperstar, yeah, went down to $1. So continuations were made. Skin creators trying to make 3 different designs of hyper skins every week. I'm not sure why he's doing that, but yeah, just take a quick look at the workshop skin. Nice, cool, interesting gradient style, like scales from a dragon of some sort. Dead Eye looks cool. Didn't sell that much though. And with what I've seen recently of the proposed collection continuations, yeah, he keeps producing all of these in a set. I mean, he could do whatever he wants. There's nothing wrong with that. But yeah, none of them been accepted, so looks like that's just all by itself. And that, like many other SAR skins over the past couple of years or so, look at its fate. It's sitting there with all the others. Black Ops SAR, I honestly thought you would do better. You're doing better, you're just not doing that good. Oh dear, oh dear. So overall, the Rush store was pretty straightforward. I played it safe a little bit too much here and there. I was reasonably confident in some of the skins, and that proved to be pretty dumb. Oh, but overall, it was a big Rush store, and certain things here are actually holding up quite nicely. Not all of them are down dramatically bad, and the hope is, as we approach the summer, things will improve. But we're probably not going to see that happen until maybe around May time. And May 4 swipe to be precise, could be one of the months that potentially gets the jungle update. So Jungle Update is still being mentioned so much. And in the recent blog post for the April Force Wipe, we have essentially just been straight up given a teaser shot of a tiger, of what the jungle looks like and whatnot. So it could be May, but I would probably think June would be better, because at least the kids would be out of school then in North America. So we'll see how it goes. Right then, so overall, everything was just reasonably okay. The outcome is, well, I might have made a bit of profit, but I'm waiting until the summer to make even more profit. Did you happen to buy any of the skins here, from the Rust store, or from buy orders? Feel free to comment below. Let's take a quick preview for the next week, and that just so happened to have the Arctic Backpack, a Commando MP5, a nice looking sheep at the door. Oh no, not another Animal Fiend rock. An instant collection continuation for the Fallen collection. Sunken returns with a garage door, another Elysian weapon, another Ice Eye weapon, a Harbour Seal large box. And we do get more bee-related skins, so yippee, small box, yay. So, yep, that's it. That's a wrap. Thank you very much for watching me. I greatly appreciate it. Best of luck with you and your investments. And let's look forward to the Easter and then anticipate the summer. Catch you later. Say goodbye.